Welcome to the Hostile Zone.
Use your voice, Cinotti hears you.
Welcome to the Hostile Zone. You're with the infamous and dangerous and always in your face, pulling back that curtain on government waste, fraud, and abuse and police misconduct. I'm your humble correspondent, as always, Eric Andrew Cinotti, Eric A. Cinotti with the big A, as always. Eric Cinotti right here. Miss Bianca Sea, S-E-A, is still recording, so you are with me tonight. Thank you, folks. As always, I always thank the viewers and the listeners. Our numbers are going up. We got a report. My executive producer and I were looking. We actually got a 33% bump in live listeners and viewers, and also downloads after the fact. Thank you, folks, because you're the reason that we made this higher ranks in just a little over a year. So with that said, we're going to have an interesting topic today, but I need to also provide an update for the last 2 days. As always, if you are watching this on your cable or TV channel, Roku, streaming, wherever, then on the bottom of the screen, the ticker, you will see how you can contact me. You can get me at the Hostile Zone at bbstalkradio.com, the Hostile Zone at bbstalkradio.com, or Bianca Sea at bbstalkradio.com, S-E-A like the ocean. And you can get me at Eric at thehostilezone.com. And always, we know you can get me at Eric at ericandrewcinotti.com. If you are watching on the TV screen, that's wonderful. If you're not and you want to, call your local cable provider and demand it, because we're working on time slot schedules. So I know that I get aired on a lot of the cable stations on the West Coast. We're working on more East Coast time slots. However, we are having a deal that it'll be available at always on Roku and etc. Okay, folks, today's topic for the show is actually a complete left turn from the last 2 days. It's going to be discussing something that is really important in society. And you know that I've talked about a lot of these topics in all my previous shows. So it's going to be about the plastic surgery boom. Why everybody wants to look like an Instagram model. That is the topic of today's show. However, I need to open up with my monologue with the update of what's going on. But I always want to thank everybody for what they're doing. But I want to give the most important thing. I want to update everybody on the current U.S. military operations in the Middle East. Basically, we covered for the last 2 days. We went very, very tough, very hard line news. Our numbers went drastic. I very much appreciate that. I'm glad that people are coming here for the real news. And you know that we're launching another streaming service soon and another iHeart channel. And I have my second show, which, Carrie, are you there? My executive producer. Are you there, Carrie? She always forgets her mic, and she did.
I just have background, so I wasn't going to turn it on.
I wanted to say the second show. What is the title of my new show? Well, we can make the announcement.
Unplugged with Eric A. Cinotti.
There it is. Unplugged with Eric A. Cinotti. We're going to talk about national security, intelligence. We're going to talk about strategies. We're going to talk about law, the Constitution. We're going to talk about the real hard line facts about anything. I'm going to break down specific Supreme Court cases. I'm going to break down legal cases using being the lawyer and the politician. Is that hat's going to go on the entire show? The Hostile Zone is still going to be on, so I'm going to be on both shows. I'm going to be a very busy person. So that show is launching. When do you think, Carrie? Now that we brought on some more people, they're really pushing us to put it out there, maybe a couple weeks tops, right? We were working on some set design.
Sometime before the end of the month, yes.
Yeah. Really, we're working on a new set. It's a set design. And we just have a new person that's coming on board that is going to be part of the other show. So anyway, I wanted to let you understand that. So I'm going to give you the quick military update, and I'm going to get into the more fun topic today. So recently, the United States, we all know, as you've listened, I hope, that we have now actively engaged ourselves into the conflict in support of Israel, but we have deployed active duty National Guard and Reserve military troops and sent a fleet of naval ships and a whole detachment of additional U.S. Marines to embassies. We are engaged, folks. I gave you all the numbers. Check out yesterday's show. Just Google the hostile zone. I'll be number one no matter where you are in the world. I know this for a fact because we checked it, the analytics. Type the hostile zone in any search engine, anywhere on a phone or whatever, and the show will come up. You can catch an episode. Go back and I give you all the numbers of what actually is going on overseas. But it's been intensifying. And we, the United States, our intelligence community has been putting up a very strong counter-terrorism effort. We have the best intelligence. Our IC, our intelligence community, we are the best in the world. Yes, we have some allies that are great, but nobody can do what we can do. Bravo Zulu to all of the guys on the ground. I appreciated talking to a lot of my sources on the ground and my source in DC. Thank you for the information. We've been hitting ISIS hard, and the remnants of ISIS, because remember they opened a training camp, it's eliminated, folks. There has been several airstrikes. Bye-bye ISIS training camp. Bye-bye ISIS. So they were attempting to try to do something in Iraq. We mitigated that situation, okay? We've seen many airstrikes conducted in response to additional threats. U.S. forces are working closely with local allies. We have now secured, like I was mentioning, intelligence personnel on the ground. We'll turn around and we cultivate people to work with us. So we have local allies that are training with us now. Like ISIS was trying to train in the field, we're training local people so they can protect themselves. And this is great. And we're going to also be doing intelligence sharing. There's also been a rising concern about Iranian-backed missiles. This is an update from yesterday. We're aware of the most recent update, actionable intelligence that I am putting to you. You're hearing it from Cinotti right now. We are aware that Iran has missiles in Iraq. Remember I said yesterday, Hezbollah and stuff, whatever, and we had the Houthis that were backed by Iran. Well, we now know intel on the ground. We know that there are rockets available in Iraq, but we're going to handle that too. These operations reflect the ongoing efforts to stop insurgency and to maintain the fragile peace in the area because it's a volatile region and we need to have a level head. I'm looking at the rest of the world. Turkey, you're a very important nation, a very important mission to think about, okay? You have to remember that you want to be part of NATO and you want to be part of the West. Remember that. Aligning yourself with Russia and getting involved with Syria in that way is not a way for you to get the recognition that you want, Turkey. You heard it here. Okay, folks, let's get into the fun. So I'm going to shift gears. Shifting gears. I just gave you the military update and we're moving. With that, actually, we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Cinotti's going to be right here. Welcome back, folks. Thank you very much. You got to go through the commercials. Yeah, you want to watch the show for free. You know what I mean? There you go. You got to do the commercial. So we took a complete left-hand turn. We're going to have some fun today. But again, keep our troops in your prayers. And we'll talk about it at the end of the show. We're going to talk about something really great. Something that makes you feel more closer to home and have a little laugh. We're going to talk about the plastic surgery boom and how media, social media outlets and the platforms, and you know I've had several episodes about the effect of social media on our youth and the effect of social media on human trafficking, child abuse and exploitation and all that. So we have a lot of episodes on that, but today we're talking about these platforms and how they're promoting an image. Specifically, we're going to talk, and I'm very sorry, Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, but we're going to talk about Instagram. We're just going to do it. I should be doing TikTok, but we're not. Today, we're doing Instagram models. If it is, personally, it's not in my notes. Carrie, are Instagram models really models? And don't bot me and troll me, folks, but is that really a model, Carrie? Do you think so? An Instagram model? Are they really models?
No, it's just people trying, with makeup and
and
filters and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Exactly.
you never know.
Yep.
If you
And
met
there's
them,
no
you wouldn't
filters
know
on
it.
this show. What you see is what you get, folks, except for some little dust on my forehead because I sweat. But yeah, so this is, and again, I do want to say one thing in a positive light, I guess, with the Instagram model thing, is that it does, if you do it properly, I guess, and you're not talking about some of the things we're going to get into, it can get you exposure. The world has changed, and it is good in a way, but you get exploited. And again, you know me, we're talking about being exploited and how I feel about people that do things to women and children. So you need to be careful, folks, with that. There's been a boom. But Instagram really is the one that everybody is doing all this Instagram modeling stuff. I don't know why. I do pay attention to my social media a little bit, but to be honest with you, I get like so many messages. It's hard, and I see the people things that these girls are inboxing me. Shocking. I can't believe it, but this is what's happening. What the real question I want to bring forward here: have we, as a society, have we created a new standard on what beauty is? Have we created a whole idea, like a facade? Is there a veil? Is it because we know? I know what Facetune is. Okay, I only found out about that recently, because I didn't know that every girl does this. When I take a picture of myself on the phone, I send you a selfie or whatever to somebody. I just take a picture and send it. Now I realize every girl is Facetune, this program Facetune, I think it's called, whatever. What for me, that's fine. I don't care because I know that, and especially now that I'm a media personality and radio, TV, I know, I see what goes on, and I understand there needs to be filters for certain things, just like they put a little like powder on my head for sweating. But then there is the whole other level of people actually getting plastic surgery or just completely using filters to just totally change who they are. And I remember in the dating scene on like I can't say the names of the dating apps because they're not endorsing the show. But if they want to, you can reach out to the show. We're always happy to add, but you need to pay for your ad space. But anyway, I remember I would see pictures of girls on these dating websites, and then I would go meet them. Quick funny story, not in there, Carrie. I'm gonna throw it. It's not in notes, but it's a really funny story. When I first got onto one of the dating sites years back, and a friend of mine had been on it for a while, and he actually met a girl he was with for a long time. That's why he talked me in. And I went out, and the first time I went out with the first girl from this particular dating site, when I got out there, I picked her up met her to go to dinner. She looked nothing like the pictures. And I realize now why girls hold the camera on different angles, because the girl was like a Twinkie shy of like 350 weight wise, folks, honestly. But the picture looked like she was like on the wall here, Marilyn Monroe. Son. I don't even know what program she had to do that. And the joke of it was when I told my friend, he's like, that's why you do coffee dates on there. So I guess these people that are swiping on Tinder and all these things, coffee dates, folks. Cinotti's advice to you, coffee dates, because when you get there, you want to make sure that you can get out quick if it's not what you expect. All right, because I got stuck buying this girl dinner and hanging out and everything. Plus, people, she could eat. That's all I could say. All right, moving on. We really did create a new standard. And the fact of the matter is that our youth, and that's something we talk about on this show. And I think for women especially, women are trying so hard to compete to be what they see on Instagram, even if they know it to be fake. They still are trying to compete to be that. And then they're not feeling good about themselves. They have all kinds of insecurities and whatever. And folks and girls out there, and everybody, guys, everybody has insecurities. We all do. No matter what personality and persona they put forward, everybody has something they're insecure about, and nobody sees themselves for what they really look like to others. So keep that in mind. Little tip to you. But the other thing I worry about is, I know that it affects the girls, but what makes it worse for the girls, I think, is what this part. The young men, teenage men, even in the 20s, and even maybe a little younger as they're seeing this, but they shouldn't be on Instagram, folks. Really? So that young, but they're seeing these girls and they think that's what girls really look like when we know that that's not to be true. We're now training our men, and I'm saying men, folks, because we do have men and women, and men need to be men and women need to be women. I don't care about your pronoun and what you believe in, but we do need men, hunters, and we need all that stuff. So the point is that you're telling these kids that this is real. That's what scares me, is because then they really believe that, and they come into they have this narrative in their brain that they are that way. And can we ever reverse that? With that, we're going to take a short break. You go check your Instagram and see what you look like. Don't go anywhere.
As therapist, I think we're all on a hot streak.
Whoa, you wearing your sex boxes at work for, you little freak?
Dress for the job you want.
Wow, you better slow that down.
This is why I hate to come out of my office.
I think that Alice is worried about me.
It's rough to realize your kid knows how fragile you are.
Paul, do not do that. How are you so strong? I'm not fragile.
Why don't you try and stick to conventional therapy? Try and be normal.
You're not gonna start jimmying me?
Sorry, jimmying you?
You know, that weird therapy you do outside of the office that Paul hates?
Jimmying, though, huh?
Dear God.
I like that.
And that's our time.
It's just that it sounds like a movement or...
It's not your patient's job to heal you.
Push my husband off a cliff. I'm a psycho with good hair.
I like the good hair part.
Look whose self-esteem is back.
I can't stop thinking he's gonna go back to the way he was after Mom died.
If you don't truly deal with your past, it's gonna come back for you. And then, boom.
You okay? You have a bad dream?
Oh, that's how I clear my throat. Ah! There we go.
You can't spend your life hiding from your fear. Instead of running from it, say, bring it on.
That's it?
You want me to pull my pants down and make my ass clap?
How much do you pay him?
Nothing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We all hope that we're the kind of person who's gonna come through.
Something changed a few months ago. Felt like I got my dad back.
You might argue I don't have enough boundaries. Well, maybe you have too damn many. And we should be working together, like Batman and Robin. You can even be Batman. You already sound like him.
I'm gonna make you pay for that.
That's exactly what Batman would say.
The sky is blue, I've finally been dreaming of this for a while. How are you and Alice doing?
We are doing great. Everything is back to normal.
Dad? Who is this weird guy?
That's my patient, darling.
Who doesn't really want to be here because his issues stem from high school.
Everyone's issues stem from high school, Dan.
At the Rembrandt Law Firm, we understand the importance of your constitutional rights. We truly care that we must get a client their desired result. If your freedom is compromised in any way, you call us. We do immigration, state and federal criminal defense, personal injury, bankruptcy, DWIs, family law, real estate law. We want you to be confident in our ability to represent you.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you very much. Did you check yourself out on Instagram? Good. I'm not following you, but you can follow me. I'm on all social media. Okay, but you're not going to see me out there doing Instagram model photos. So we've seen this, and there's been all kinds of stupid stuff, but we see people sculpting their cheekbones, making flawless skin like it doesn't, like, come on, no one has flawless skin. I'm sorry, they don't. And it's flooding the feeds. You open up any social media now, and that's all you see. And it kind of, I don't like it. That's why I like LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you pay for it, and it's a professional network. So when I open it, I get professionals in there. I understand all the other one. I know that Meta's going to get mad at me and everybody, but it is what it is. It's just that I don't need to see all these garbage pictures from people. But everybody is believing that that's what you are supposed to look like. And it's not true. And why are we as a society allowing this to become the new norm? Is this good on our mental health? Because we did a whole episode about social media and mental health. And I think, folks, 10 years, 15, maybe 20 years down the line, we're going to see the effects of this. Just like everything that we look back in the past that's occurred, look at how life has changed and progressed due to changes. I think this is going to be something we need to deal with. But tonight we're going to break down some numbers and trends because, you know, you're not on Cinotti's show if I'm not going to give you stats and information, because you get facts here. You don't get lies. You get the truth here. So there is an obsession. There's even shows out there. We were talking other shows, and I don't want to name shows, but there's shows about this, and people really are into it. I mean, listen, I'm a guy. I like to look at a hot girl like anybody, but I prefer her to be real. As we start off every show with a relevant, famous quote of the day: beauty is not in the face. Beauty is in the light of your heart. I don't know why I picked that quote. Do you like that quote, Carrie? I don't know. I'm kind of like backing at it. It's funny, but I mean, I could have done a better quote. Beauty is not in the face. Beauty is in the light of the heart. I guess I would have worded it different. I mean, beauty's from within, basically, is what that's saying. Beauty is from within. And obviously,
and that's very true.
It is. And, you know, honestly, like, somebody might be really pretty and you go out with them, or a man very handsome, but then as you get to know them and speaking and having a conversation, you get more attracted to somebody, and it could be even physically, sexually attracted. Everything is based on not just looks. The looks get better. But I do know, and I'm going to say it because, you know, I study and research a lot of things. Most women, folks, gentlemen, most girls make a decision in the first 8 to 10 seconds of meeting you if they will ever have sexual relations with you. That's like a fact. That's like more than 80% of women will believe that. Carrie, now you're in a, what's your thought? And you're generationally different than me, but do girls not make a decision immediately? They may not say, yes, I'm definitely going to have relations with him, but you, in the first 8 to 10 seconds, you say, oh, never happening, right or wrong?
I think you're right. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell
know, right?
instantly if you're going to click with somebody or not.
Exactly. Now, guys, we don't care. But guys, gentlemen, the other thing is, don't fall into the friend zone. Very hard to get out of that. Very hard to get out of that. All right. So, perfection. So, let's get into talking points and some statistics. It's called the Instagram face phenomenon. I guess we have a new thing. I didn't know that, but apparently that's a thing. I guess, like I say on the show, we just change names and it becomes a whole new thing. So, in the past 5 years, so it's kind of what I said, 20 years down the line. In the past 5 years, there's been a 64% increase in plastic surgery consultations reported by the American Academy of Facial and Plastic Surgery and Reconstructive Surgery. 64% increase in 5 years. And this is like fact. The American Academy of Facial and Plastic Surgery and Reconstruction. I mean, that's insane. 64%. That is more than, we don't even get that many people to come out to vote in a presidential election, let alone people changing their body. So clearly there is an impact. Patients often bring filtered photos of them, or there's actually an uptick of people following Instagram influencers or whatever, and bringing pictures of those Instagram influencers into these consults saying, I want to look like that. That's just over the top, if you ask me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with mimicking somebody. There's nothing wrong with looking at what they wear, and how, at least for a guy, I look at the tie and I try to pick what image I want to be, and I look at a famous person doing whatever it is that maybe I want to be, because you want to emulate somebody, and that is a form of flattery, folks. There's nothing wrong with emulating. I'm not saying copy, but you look up to somebody, you emulate them, you want to be like them because they're where you want to be in 5, 10 years. Remember, think to where you want to be in 5 years, not where you are today. Okay? Where you are today is not where you want to be. So you don't think about where you are today. You're talking and thinking about 5 years down the line or 2 years. That is proper. So that's why you should find somebody to emulate. And it's definitely not an Instagram influencer. But here's the key stat. This one's a big one. 72% of teens are using Instagram on a daily basis, heavily influencing the beauty standards and changing the whole younger generation. 72%. If you're a parent out there, you have to be cringing right now, because you have to say, wow, 72%. And the fact of the matter is that it's just like, you just like saying, is this real? Is this happening? Because I just am shocked at 72%, but this is legit. I give you numbers. I give them real. Where are we on that? We're going to, the whole thing. I don't know, but yeah, jump in.
I'm cutting you off,
see
dude.
my producer was typing away. Interrupt. Go on, Gary. And you got people screaming. Is there someone being murdered there with you too? All right, go on. What's up, Gary? Interrupting me.
I'm sorry. We have a caller.
We got a
Crystal. Are you there?
Somebody got through.
Hi.
You got somebody in?
Crystal, you're on the air with Eric.
Hi.
Crystal.
So
Crystal from where?
here.
Firstly, Crystal, where are you from? And you got to get close to the mic so I can hear you.
Hi, I'm from Baltimore. It's so awesome to be on the show. Thank you. You're so sexy.
Ooh, well, thank you. And I'm not an Instagram, and this is no filters right here. Okay. So anyway, Crystal, tell me what's up. What made you call in, and how did you get past the gatekeeper? Because I wasn't taking calls. So there must be whatever it is, you got in somehow. So what's up?
I don't know. I've been a fan for forever, so thank you for having me. But
of course, talk to me.
No, I love this topic. I actually have done some Instagram modeling.
Okay.
I don't do it that
Let
often.
me ask you a question. Instagram modeling. May I ask your rough age group you are? Because it's relevant to this stuff.
Actually,
Firstly,
you're over
18, right? You're over 18, right, Crystal? Okay, good. I don't want to get in trouble. FCC rules here.
I'm in my 30s. I think most of the girls, and I do look at other girls' pictures and things. I mean, there are some very young girls as Instagram models, and they do look very fake, and they do look very, sensual, and it's a little disturbing, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know what? I'm glad
really
I see why they let you in. You're gonna stick around for a minute? We could talk about some of these stats I'm gonna talk about, and you can tell me what you think, since you're a little older, so you're obviously doing it in a better way. So I'll talk. We could chat about this for a minute.
Definitely. Well, I'm also a mother, and actually,
good.
And I do kind of, protect my
daughter
from
a girl.
things
You have
like
a daughter or a daughter? You said
I have a daughter.
Right.
And I do
Right.
protect her from getting absorbed in the whole Instagram model era.
Right.
It's
exactly.
I'm not at all surprised by the numbers. Not at all.
And actually, let me interrupt you, because let me tell you this fact, because it's exactly what you're about talking about. And I want to tell you my next statistic, since now apparently you're a co-host today. All right, Crystal? So,
okay.
Botox, lip fillers, laser treatments have seen a 50% increase in popularity over the past decade. 7.7 million Botox procedures were performed in 2020, making it the most popular non-surgical procedure worldwide. Now, working in media and in Hollywood, they actually have parties at hotels, Botox parties. So what say you, Crystal, on that statistic?
I would say that people are seeing these images, and this is actually speaking from experience as a model. We're looking at these images as these perfect porcelain shapely women and girls, and we're all thinking that we're supposed to look like that. And I think people are rushing into the surgery tables, and they're just trying to do whatever they can to look like that, because society now, and through media and Instagram, and not just Instagram, like other platforms as well, they're telling us that we're supposed to look like that, like we're supposed to be perfect.
But you know what's funny? I'm glad you said that, because you actually, it's not here in my notes, but you really made a great point. Thank you, Crystal. And stay with me. Don't go anywhere. What I want to say is that if you are watching TV and you're watching other, like, let's say, regular mainstream, not social media, you're noticing the change in what the people in commercials look like. And I don't want to be insulting, especially being in the entertainment union myself. I don't want to make a remark about people that are in commercials. But if you look at commercials and magazine print ads from the 80s and 90s and previously, and you look now, the women and the men look a lot different. Do you not? Did you not? Do you see that too? You know what I'm saying? Where I'm trying to go without insulting anybody. They look more like your everyday man and everyday woman compared to like the supermodel and the woman, what beautiful woman vacuuming the house. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the guy has a gut outside a little bit, normal guy, instead of the six-pack abs and jack. And that's your regular TV commercials. Social media seems to have picked up the old style of everybody must be like beautiful, but they put it on steroids. What say you, Crystal?
Well, okay. Again, I have a daughter, so I'm very up to date with all of the models and platforms for youth as well as adults. And
Did I miss any? What, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook? Is Snapchat even a thing anymore? Snapchat a thing?
I think Snapchat has the most filters of anything. You can literally
Does
make.
it? Yeah, I don't have. I have one, but I don't. Yeah, I don't even know if they use it for me. But
And
okay,
that's
go on.
exactly what these girls are doing, though. I think some of them are even using Instagram and Snapchat and other platforms to like create a different identity that they want for themselves. And I would love to see the statistics of the depression rates as well, because what happens?
You need to go back, Crystal, and you need to go to iTunes or wherever, or even on YouTube or onto iHeart's the website, and you can watch or listen to my show on mental health statistics and that. I did a whole episode on it.
I mean, I'm just
Terry, while you're sitting there, can you look up the date so the listeners will know what day to look back for that show? Can you look up the mental health and
please, because I definitely will.
All right.
And go on. So here's another one, and I'm going to bring this to you, Crystal. Thank you for being on the show. I do appreciate it. This is good. You said from Baltimore, right?
Yes,
So
Baltimore.
we got Crystal in her 30s from Baltimore, who is a model with a daughter.
Yes.
Okay. So a concerning trend, another one, more statistics. A concerning trend is 40% of plastic surgery patients are now under the age of 30, driven by the desire to emulate the perfect airbrush look of the Instagram girl. Now, I want to say, hold that thought before you say anything, Crystal, because I want to premise a thought that was going through my head that I said something before, and then you came in. I'm going to put my lawyer hat on for a second, and I'm going to say it is really an issue when, if you are a doctor, there's a thing called the Hippocratic Oath, folks. You know, like military, we take an oath, intelligence, and everybody takes oaths. You raise your right hand. Well, a doctor takes the Hippocratic Oath, and it basically stands for do no further harm. Do no further harm. So where are the ethics boards that oversee the American Medical Association? Where are they when people are coming in who want to change perfectly good bodies and potentially put themselves at danger? Because every time you put yourself into anesthesia, you run the risk of never coming out. And is it truly worth it to do that? And that's where a doctor takes the oath to do no further harm. And they should be questioning the mental health of the person coming in that wants to look like an Instagram model before they just openly start doing this. Crystal, do you agree? You're a mother and a model.
I completely agree. I am a victim of it. I have gone too far with filler in the past because it got to my head. And I had to really sit back and analyze myself. And I did a lot of self-reflecting and changed some things so I was happier with myself. So I completely agree with you. And I believe, I don't know if this can be stopped.
Hey, I got an idea. I got a question. I'm going to interrupt you. Are you at the ability to, the number that you called in here, that number, are you able to send a Instagram picture of yourself modeling? And we'll put it right up on the screen for everybody. Would you be willing to do that? Because you're like older and professional. Clean. We're not a podcast. It's not YouTube. So don't get me a fine. Send me something. And Carrie, she's going to send it to you. Can you put it and drop it up on the screen for us while we're talking? And however you got through, Crystal, obviously that's who the gatekeeper. Send it to that person on that number you called. And Carrie, you're able to put it up live right now or no?
She needs to text it to you so I can get it.
Yeah, it's it's gonna take me 1 second.
Yeah, I can give you actually. Yeah, that number that yeah, send it right here, and I'll send it right over to Carrie. Keep talking.
Okay.
All
right.
The one that just came in above that. There's 11. You sent me which one do you want?
I have.
As you're doing, yeah, just tell me which one, and then I'll do it. It's funny as you're doing that. I did the next section of my notes talks about Snapchat dysphoria.
But the picture that I showed you, I don't do very vulgar pictures or anything. Like I said,
no, I know you don't.
Daughter,
it's a very nice picture. Yeah, Carrie, can you get that up on the screen?
And because I have a daughter, I also know that there are other model agencies, and because I also do modeling, there are brands that are fighting this stigma, and they're only showing real photos, unfiltered, unaltered.
Yeah.
And
really?
that is, I'll name two
is that
off
good
the
or bad?
bat. Aerie shows younger girls with completely unfiltered and natural.
When you mean younger, because I worry about the youth and getting involved in this business.
Honestly,
you know what I mean? Like
speaking as a parent, I think
and like a woman. I mean, I'm sure people have done things they shouldn't have done or tried to do things they shouldn't have done.
Yes, but that's
yeah.
But
I mean, honestly, right?
It's becoming a little bit. The parents really need to stress to their, especially if you have a daughter or a son, they really need to stress to them to not get absorbed in this sort of pandemic. It
is yes, that was a great word. It is a pandemic.
And
that's why I said 20 years down the line, what's the change going to be? Because these young men are going to get into the dating world and then get maybe married or never married. And then they're going to have a different view on everything.
Well, the thing is, they're telling, unless the parents are correcting their children, media is telling boys that girls and women look like this. And it's also telling girls are supposed to look like this. So really, that kind of lies on the parents to correct that. And as far as the doctors go, I mean, I would love to see a law come out that says, hey, if a doctor performs a surgery that someone didn't absolutely need, they should be held accountable for wrecking someone.
I like that. I actually like that. I know that there is a whole ethical thing. There's ethics and stuff, but I like that. I like that. That's something you should change in society. Happens because somebody advocates something, and because you're not older, but you're not younger. You have a different perspective, and it's very good. It's a good perspective. That would be how society changes. And somebody has to come up with an idea for a law and it gets sponsored. I like it. So if you were to, this is great. You spun me in a different direction and I like it. We have good chemistry here. The question I want to ask you is, if you were the law you're talking about, how would you see that? Like, how would you verbalize it?
If I were a lawyer?
Well, you're not. I mean, yeah. Well, I'll put the lawyer hat on, but you tell me. let's say you were coming to me as a congressperson or whatever, or just as a lawyer, and you wanted to sit down and say, I want to do this. What are the things that you want to see as a model, as a mother, and as not a young person, as a mature 30-something woman who has class and whatever? What would you like to see in the law?
Well, you actually mentioned it a little earlier, and that is the models 20 years ago or so, they were natural. You saw freckles on their face. You saw pores on their face.
Right.
They actually had models that didn't wear any makeup, and they were natural beauties. I mean, natural beauty was like a big thing back then. And I think that we really need more companies like, Aerie and Lululemon.
You know what? Really... You just got me again. I got to stop you, Crystal. I definitely, you might have to be a regular caller. I like it. What you just said there, you know who's really making this happen? It's these companies that are giving free product to these girls. And they're trying to pay them, and they're making a cheap dollar.
That's funny.
They're making a cheap dollar.
I did it for the free clothes. Yep, I get free clothes for modeling.
I mean, I get all kinds of stuff here with the show, and they pay for commercials, and they send me stuff. But I'm an adult, like you're an adult, and that's fine. And you're doing, and obviously the picture here that I don't know why we didn't get it on the screen. Carrie, what's going on? What, you can't get on the screen? Yeah, I like what you said but tell me, how should it read? How should it read? Because there is a whole issue going on here. Like, do we literally take the whole the whole thing and change it? I know that there's Congress and people are discussing having the ability to actually make a rule and a law on how old you can be to be on the screen. That is very, very interesting. So tell me how you would word it, right? And not words, but you know what I'm saying, right? How would you say it?
Honestly, I don't know if this issue can be stopped. It's all over the place. Instagram's a huge platform where it's on, but they have filters that you can alter videos, photos. I mean, you can literally,
I know. Yeah, it is just simply like
you can make yourself look like someone completely different. It's not something I do. I pride myself on that.
And I think I'm about to be able to take care of your picture up here since Carrie couldn't do it. So I'm engineering, Carrie, and I'm being executive producer and taking callers now. But
good.
I think it's going to happen. I think you're going to end up on here. I figured it out. I think. Let's see if it works.
The show that you were talking about is from 9/18, social media and the effects of mental health.
9/18, So it was September 18th. And what's the title of the show for people to find?
It's the Hostile Zone, social media, and the effects of mental health.
Let's see how the whole world's going to see how pretty you are.
Oh,
boom! There you are. Wow, look at you. Now, honestly, none of that's filtered.
No.
Now, what kind of camera was used for that?
Those are professional pictures, actually, that I've used to model that top in particular for a company.
Okay, don't say it because they're not a sponsor of this show.
I won't.
Okay.
I honestly don't even remember the name of the company. But
well, see, now they're going to see you and not give you anything else because of that.
Yeah, I mean, was told that I have natural genetics.
Yeah, no, you do. Another
issue too is there's so much fake out there that you don't know what's real anymore.
No, you don't. You wonder, and that's the whole point, right, Carrie? And now, Carrie, you I don't want to say, because you always get mad at me when I say something and it may allude to your age, but you've been in Hollywood a number of years, Carrie. What is the change that you've seen with this stuff? You've seen this effect in the industry because you've been around? Yeah, like what's your thought on that?
Well, back in, say, the day of Marilyn Monroe,
right?
She was a real woman.
Norma Jean, folks. Norma Jean.
Yes.
Norma Jean, right? Okay.
Yes, but she was actually a size 14, and that was, everybody.
Is that big? Is that big or no?
Compared to what they try to do these days, they want to be from a 0 to a 3.
I'm a personal trainer also.
You got some triceps going on there. You're a model. What size is that? Because she's saying Marilyn Monroe was a what size?
14.
So what size are you on here in this picture that everybody's watching on TV?
I'm a 4 to a 6.
Okay, and like is that I don't really know what that means for people. Is that good? Bad? I mean, obviously you look good.
I think that's an average size now, yes. And again, I'm going to say like Lululemon and Aerie, they really are trying to almost fight this. Like they're having...
Who's trying to fight this?
Certain companies like Lululemon and Aerie, they really are trying to fight what's happening and post like not just,
That's what I'm saying.
They have thick models. They have thick athletes. They have, thick younger girls. They have skin. They have all different types of bodies. And
right.
I mean, my daughter actually is the one who brought this up to me. And then I took a look at their models, and they really. And I mean, if other people could kind of fall in line with this and start maybe posting make that a real thing,
Right. And I'm hoping Carrie's going to dump up some old school pictures of Norma Jean, Marilyn Monroe at some point and whatever. I would like to see generationally looking at you here. And if you have more, send more. We'll be happy to put them up for you. Because it's a good thing. I mean, if you have more, send them up. I'll let people see and talk because it's a great conversation. And we'll compare it to Marilyn Monroe pinup girl looks and whatever. And we'll even throw up something that won't get me in trouble.
Well, I do have one that's kind of like a Marilyn Monroe pinup. Yes.
Well, send it. I'll put it up because I can put it for me. It's obviously working for me to put it up here. I can do it. But I would like to compare.
I can actually send one of my.
You know what I mean, Carrie? Wouldn't that would be good to show people like and I think it, like I was saying in my notes, prior that 20 years down the line, and just like Crystal said, it's an epidemic, and it truly is an epidemic, because you got to say to yourself, where are we going? And I think looking at the Marilyn Monroe and the pinup girl look and all that.
Well, actually, if you take a look at Instagram, also now they have even IE'd Marilyn Monroe's photos.
Do they? Oh, I did.
Yes,
on the filters, which that's crazy. Yeah,
they have filtered some of her older photos.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, she obviously, I don't know, is she dating? Is she date people? How old? I don't want to ask too much information, but she's in dating age.
She
right?
has a boyfriend, yes. And
So-
again, I would stress the parents to kind of make sure that your
Right.
children understands that this is not reality. These pictures are very much fake. You know,
that's what I wanted to ask you about her. If she was dating, has she seen that with guys? The guys change their pictures online? Are these guys doing that? I know of somebody, and I don't want to say who he is because he's going to get mad at me. He uses a program to bulk up muscles on his picture. Laughing at. I'm not gonna say who it is.
I have seen men put abs on. I've seen women do this too, and they put.
I've
fake
seen the
abs.
spray abs. Remember, people
And
were doing
again,
spray.
this really annoys me because as someone in personal training, I have real abs, and
Right.
I would not want somebody saying, "Oh, are those real or are those fake?" Because
Right.
there's so much fake out there.
So, here's a new picture of you. Oh, that is real. No editing on that.
No.
All right, there you are up there. Nice. You do got some abs. That's a big tattoo. What is that tattoo of, Crystal?
That's a rose. Roses.
You know what it looks like from because mind you, I'm in a studio and there's like 5,000 lights in my face here, and I could see on this big screen. But from here, it looks like almost a leprechaun. I'm not even going to kid you. Why does it look like I see like a top hat? Like, hello, governor. Oh, hat or something? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But Crystal, send that in to me.
Okay, so I'm going to send I just found one. This is a complete IE photo. This is completely not real.
I will put it up after, but I got to move on. Crystal, thank you for calling. Send the Instagram ones for me, and I will reach back to you because I'm going to have you come back on so you can talk more a little bit. But I thank you for calling in. Crystal from Baltimore. I can't put that up. That's good. You.
Sorry, but that's not
Woo!
real.
Don't edit that. It's funny. My face is red. There you go. That looks like I'm wearing makeup. Yeah. Interesting. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Honestly, truly, you are a great caller. And send me those pictures of a couple people. I'll wipe the face out and we'll get you on the show because I want to put the progression of how this goes. Thank you for calling, Crystal. When you do that, I'll put another picture up of you and we'll put your name and we'll give them the address so people can check you out if they want to use you as a legitimate ambassador. Okay, Crystal, thank you for calling in. All right, so moving back on. It's funny. I was talking about Snapchat and they call it Snapchat dysphoria, leading to young people wanting to undergo all these crazy things and they have filters. It's funny because it was an unexpected caller. A lot of what I was preparing to say, influencers have seen an 80%, here's a fact, 80% rise in promoting cosmetic procedures in the past 5 years. I think that is terrible that you're out there promoting people to get cosmetic procedures and they're getting paid as an influencer to do that. Sponsored post advertising for beauty treatments can get an influencer, okay, can fetch them like $5,000 for doing that, but they're exploiting themselves for $5,000 and they're exploiting the future of our society, of our men and our women. I don't think it's good. Nearly 50% of plastic surgeons are saying that social media has actually driven up their business, which is what an interesting concept that Crystal said before is legislation on what they should do. And I like that. I really do like that. That was a very good thought. On that note, we're going to take a very short break because we're coming to a hard close. Taking a quick break. Don't go anywhere because maybe I'll put another picture up of Crystal. Cinotti's watching. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the pictures of Crystal. She is beautiful. She's professional, and she is looking for sponsors and ambassadors. We're going to be putting up more information on her. She's a professional. She really is. She got through because she was a professional. That's how she got past the gatekeeper. So anyway, and Crystal actually had something to say, which I like. I like beauty and intelligence. Wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. We're looking forward to seeing more and hearing more. The reason I say beauty and intelligence too, because the next part of my section here was ethical implications. He talked about a law, and I was talking about ethics. It's perfect. It was perfect what she said. Ethical implications is my section here. A recent survey showed 67% of adults believe influencers should disclose whether they've undergone cosmetic procedures, particularly when promoting beauty products. I 100% agree with that one. Like, I totally don't, Carrie, don't you? No, I mean, honestly, do you agree? Like, they should. It's because, I mean,
absolutely. What they should do is put a picture of themselves, the real them, and then next to what it is they're portraying, because people would be absolutely shocked to see that these people they think they're trying to model themselves after, they're never going to look like that because they don't have the money to do the plastic surgery and stuff.
You know what? And you know what's funny? Putting the lawyer hat, the whole idea is that they put on the bottom, results may vary. You notice that? And it also says not FDA approved, all that stuff, you know, like, but they always say results may vary because clearly, well, we saw what Crystal looked like. So whatever, and she'll tell us more when she sends more pictures and she calls back in, but whatever she might be promoting, if it's legitimately not filtered, then that's fine. But otherwise, the company should be, they should be, you're not gonna buy a cream and have abs like Crystal had on the screen there, right, Carrie? I mean, let's be real. And she has triceps in the picture. She goes to the gym. She clearly works out. So
exactly.
I mean, she's not buying a cream or a magic pill.
I was gonna say there's a way to actually do body makeup to look like
really?
that.
That's what I was saying about the spray abs, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The spray. I mean, I know guys that have done that. I swear to God, I'm Jersey Shore guy. You know this. Fist pump. You know the whole Jersey Shore thing. And I've actually known guys that do that, and it's funny. I'm not going to call him out. He did that because they were filming Jersey Shore, and we had the show. There was a set going on, and this other guy came, and I had him come down with us and hang out. He put a spray tan of fake abs, Gary. He was hanging out. It was sweaty at the club, and he had taken his shirt off. It started to drip off. It was hysterical. So there he was. He's trying to get on MTV. I hooked him up and let him get on set. You know, get in there because they kind of narrate who's going to be in the clubs during these shows. You know what I mean? You know, like when Mike Sorrentino's situation. Shout out to Mike. I'm on the show. Actually, I'm going to be up there. We'll get together. And I talked to somebody else in Staten Island was supposed to meet up. I'll be up there in a week. Anyway, so, you know, it's funny. And it started dripping off. And you know what the best is? He's an idiot because they loved it and they ran it and he was the biggest show. You know what I mean? That's great.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, not like you got to laugh at that.
Absolutely.
You know, so tell me, have you seen this in Hollywood? People doing that stuff?
Oh, really yes. Another thing, you know, you learn a lot of techniques for lighting and all kinds of stuff, and how to make, you know, people look.
That's what I was saying about my first internet date. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The girls, they hold. What's the deal with the angle? Do they hold it up or
if you hold it up and show it down, then it makes you look slimmer.
Really? That's what happened.
Oh, absolutely.
I swear to God, Carrie, the girl was 2 Tic Tacs shy of 350. Literally. I mean, if she wasn't 3 bills, I don't know what to say. Oh, that was Jersey lingo. 300 pounds. Because people are like, what is he talking about? That's Jersey Shore talk. You know what I mean? But it's insane. I guess be proud of who you are. I said it before. Everybody has insecurity. I mean, am I right or wrong? And people in this, and maybe when we get Crystal on with the other pictures again, maybe she'll tell us, but she probably has insecurities, and maybe she'll be honest and say it. And that's what they need to hear. She could be somebody that could actually make change. Was that very good of her to bring up the idea about, you know, a law, yes. Right? I mean, that would be good. That would really be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think it's great because I think that, well, and I do know they're talking about having an age group too on what is. I know there's a rule for like 13, but I mean, they're really talking about like 16 or something. But I don't know. But I think that that was very right, that they brands, they don't, and you know what else they always say, and I hate, and you know what I'm saying. At the end, they like, come on, really? That it gets by the legal compliance because they went and they read it, but nobody can hear what you're saying, and they're giving you all the garbage disclaimers. But we're coming close to a hard close, right, Carrie? I'm going to get yelled at soon. So
absolutely, you're overtime.
We're right there. We are perfect. Well, you let a caller in. and it had to be a beautiful model. I bet you if our numbers go up, Crystal, if you're listening still, I'm sure she is. If we get a spike in numbers, we'll get you a sponsorship from somebody. I get emails every day. Somebody will be interested. Moving forward, the line between promoting positivity and encouraging cosmetic enhancement is obviously a delicate conversation. There's a line. There's a line because you know what? If somebody has been a tragic accident, a burn victim, something like that, then clearly reconstructive surgery means a lot. And you know what? Here's another one. Carrie, help me out because I'm a guy. I'm thinking intelligently, but I need a girl's perspective on this. So help me out. There are times when you do, like, I guess, breast augmentation. Some people are really, truly born with like very, very almost nothing, right? And that can actually help their mental health. Not going extremely stupid and dumb numbers. I'm talking about because you were born with a deformity, you know, a large enough breast, they're like almost like a little boy or something. Am I saying this correctly, Carrie? Help me out.
Somewhat, yes, but
I mean, if people grow up really feeling bad about it, and it truly does kind of look that way, then that would be a positive thing to fix it. That
to make to make them feel more comfortable. Yes, that is
with themselves because they need to be comfortable with themselves. They're not doing it for somebody else. But if people are every day, if you have listen, if my nose got broken and was like punched in the face, I would fix it. I'm not gonna lie, I totally would fix it. I mean, I especially I'm on TV and radio, but even anywhere. But I'm not gonna go. I don't do Botox. I don't do any of that stuff. And you know, here's another fact, folks. You know what Botox is? It's botulism. Did you know that, Karen?
Yes, I did. I can't imagine these people. I can't imagine these people that are purposely putting poison in their faces.
And for what? Everybody's talking about these getting vaxxed, right? The vaccines. That is just fascinating because botulism killed off so many people. There was vaccines for it, right? And now they're putting it in your face to fix a wrinkle. There are so many potentially side effects that had it. I mean, it's not even any good. Let me get into the wrap up and the thank yous. So the obsession with cosmetic perfection clearly is becoming a trend. And listen, there's nothing wrong with fashion, projecting a good self, having men. I talked episodes before, clean under your fingernail. There's nothing wrong with clipping your nails and filing. Get a manicure. It's okay. Take care of your ugly feet. We had a whole show on that, guys. Take care of your feet. Girls, look at that, and there's nothing more disgusting, even as a guy, to look at nasty feet. Take care of yourself, gentlemen, because what it says, I'm gonna give a couple of statements, and I'm gonna not even end with this closing. I'm gonna close with a positive note. Feel comfortable with yourself. But let me teach you something here. This is very important. 90% of your success in life, gentlemen and women, but gentlemen too, everybody, 90% of your success is your presentation, right? 90%. That is it. Your presentation gets the door open for you, the way you speak, your mannerisms, and the way you take care of yourself. Now, men, I don't know women so much, but men going for a job interview or whatever it is, you think you're neat, but then look at your feet, polish your shoes. Very important fact. I learned this a long time ago when I got first into government and I put a suit on and I had just shoes. I wasn't bad and I was thinking I was great. And I had a high ranking member of government who was in an elected position, and he pulled me aside, and it was a great piece of advice. Thank you to him. I don't want to say who it was. Thank you to him. I thought I rolled up there on a detail, and I didn't know. And I know that now. And it's a great, take it till you make it, right, Carrie? Take it till you make it. Dress to impress. If you think you're neat, look at your feet. Now, what's the women's side of that to close with? For guys, shoes. And you know what? I'm going to give one more sentence, and I'm going to give Carrie that point. As somebody who interviews people and has interviewed and hires, when you come into me, and you're wrinkled, you're sloppy, or you're and this stuff, that says a couple things to me. It says, number one, you might be, not hygienic. You may be disorganized. Those are key things. I don't want a non-hygienic person working for me. I don't want a disorganized person handling any of my business or the public's business when I was people working in the public sector. That's important. And also, and this goes for men and women in an interview, and then I'm going to give that other part to Carrie. It says a lot to the interviewer that you did not have enough respect for them as the person you're interviewing. You didn't have enough respect for the company that they work for and for the position that you're applying for when you show up looking sloppy. That's what it says, honestly. So you could be an incompetent fool, but if you dress great and you manicure yourself, good nails, good and hair and everything, clean, you might get the job if you can BS your way through the interview. Doesn't mean you're going to keep it. Doesn't mean you're going to keep it. Now, Carrie, when I said you think you're neat and the feet, what's what's the key for women? Give them a good piece of advice before I do my call to action. What's the key thing for women?
I think being comfortable in yourself, but what's the word I want to use? Modest. Maybe that's what I want to do.
Conservative.
Yeah, because you don't
Yes.
want to go in there looking like a floozy because
I've interviewed
that's not who
people
they're
like
looking
that.
for.
I've interviewed people like that, and that is a problem. And you know what? Well, let's be real. You're my executive producer. You and I, in the beginning, what did I say to you? You handle hiring, and especially if it's women. Did I not? We can say this right here in the show. Because of the whole Me Too thing, and I am not a chauvinist person. And Carrie will tell, and I'm going to tell you, I don't treat people like that, but I never want to be caught up in that situation. As somebody who's interviewed one, as soon as I have a woman come in for an interview and I see like the extra button open on the shirt or whatever, she might look good, I might whatever. I keep the respect of my position, and I might be looking in my mind, but I'm also saying I'm not hiring her because she could be a problem to me, or she can make a problem in my office setting. Correct? Right or wrong? Right? That kind of goes what you just said.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're saying, you're making a state, right? Now, if you're obviously, if you're going to go work for Cosmopolitan magazine or something, then clearly that's a fashion book. Thank you for your concept on that, Carrie. I'm going to go to Cinotti's call to action because we ran over extra time, but it's okay because they run it for me anyway. As always, folks, stay sharp. Stay sharp. Don't let consistent pressure to chase perfection that's online cloud your sense of your self-worth. Okay? Listen, it's true. It's true. And here's another one. I'm going to give a sentence here, and I'm going to say it properly so I don't get a fine. And this is for men. Every guy believes that their men's genitalia is not big enough. And that is a fact. Guys feel that way. And Carrie, most women don't really care. Most of the time, it's really not a problem, right or wrong.
Absolutely.
There
when
you go.
meet somebody, you're not looking to see that. You want to know if they're, what's on the inside, more or less.
Right. But I mean, like, and realistic, because you're help these young men. And I'm a guy, I mean, we all think ours is not where it should be. But then you realize, I've military and everything I've done, I've seen what's out there. So I know what we should be and shouldn't be. But realistically, every guy feels that they don't measure up to everybody else. But women truly don't care about that, honestly, right, Kara? I mean, factually, they don't.
Exactly.
Especially when you start to care about somebody. Like we were saying in the beginning, beauty is in, like the beginning quote, beauty's inside. So you start to fall in love with somebody and you care, and they're intellectual and they're everything that you want. You're turned on by them no matter what. Now, there is such a thing as, now, like we said, with women that have no breast augmentation, there is actually a thing called a micro penis. It's real. It's a scientific thing. If you have a thing, you can add up when you do the thing, put up the definition. It actually is. And Peyronie's disease with the bend, gentlemen, that's fixable. But don't buy things. I'm not going to get a sponsor now on this. Don't buy those pills. It's not going to add anything to you. It's not. It doesn't do it. So you got what you have. Enjoy what you have. Use what you have. You're not going to get a pill to fix it. Don't waste your money on it. And that's for guys who watch adult films. Girls don't look that way. And realistically, guys don't look like that either. It's prosthetically enhanced and fake. And Carrie's been in the industry, not that, but you're in Hollywood. Do they not fake that for guys? Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen it. They put prosthetic ones in the adult films over the guy. So you think that that's it. And it's really a regular or even a micro penis underneath, honestly. So I needed to add that because I don't want people to leave today's show feeling anything. You are a good person. If you're happy with yourself, screw everybody else. And you know what? If somebody's messing with you, you reach out to the hostile and you call Cinotti, and I'll call them out on the show. I'll call them out. I won't even say it came from you. If somebody did that, we'll call them out. You reach out, especially women. Don't let guys belittle you and tell you that you are not something you're not. Cherish yourself. Cherish yourself. You'll find the right man, right, Carrie? If not, you don't need a man to complete yourself. And guys, you don't need a woman to complete yourself. Yes, it's a great thing. I advocate for marriage and that stuff, but you don't have to have that. You don't need to be forced into it, right, Carrie?
Absolutely. I chose to make my life. I've been single my whole
life. I knew that, and I didn't want to say that. I knew you. That's where I was going with that. So, I'm going to give you 5 seconds, and then we can edit something else out. Tell people that reason so these young girls will hear this.
I'm single because I haven't found anybody that I thought was worth the trouble of creating a relationship. And
Right.
I had kids, and I absolutely was not going to put them in the position of danger.
Right.
So,
And you know, the other thing to go to piggyback with you on that, Carrie, when you have especially if there's a boy and they have a boy, and then the father is like rude to people in public and demeaning. And I'm not talking about having a family fight at home argument. I'm talking about truly being a chauvinist slob and belittling and whatever everybody, and they're out and women check, and Carrie will help me on this one. This is a great topic today. Carrie, help me on this one. You go out on a date with a guy and he's rude to the server, right? Boom. Says a lot about
out
his
of there.
character. Right? It says a lot
Out of
about his
there.
character. Exactly. Says a lot. And here it is. Gentlemen, when you take a woman on a date, pay, okay? Pay. Be a man. Pay. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's 2024, pronouns and garbage. The man should I still open the door for women in the car. That's just the way it is. Man, open the door, and if I'm walking up to a store, I hold the door for a woman. I am in the car, getting in the car, getting out of the car. Be a gentleman. Be a gentleman. You don't have to be a jerk, right or wrong.
Right.
And I think, and women look for the guy that's rude to the server. Guys, here it is for women. This is what we look at. When you come out on the date and you start pushing for the expensive meals and extras. Now the guy should not be doing what do they call Dutch? Is that the old school saying, Carrie?
Go Dutch.
I would never do that. I would never do that. Hands down, I don't agree. And jump in, Carrie, if you want. The man should pay. But I have a lot of respect when I taken a woman out, or a girl out on a date, and they offer to pay, or they offer to can I help with the tip or whatever. I absolutely say no, but it speaks volumes for her character. Now that's
I agree.
the guy's side. See, there you go. See, that was the guys what we see. You see that I'm rude to the server, that I think I'm better, right? And then he's gone. When I see the girl that doesn't try to offer, I know that she's going to be the girl that's going to mooch forever. And that's the one you don't want. So with that, folks, that's where we're going to end it. Because I'm going to say, those are important facts. And today, as much as it wasn't about, it was fun. And but I want you to remember, our military and intelligence community are actively engaged in operations overseas to keep us safe. Whatever your higher being is, whoever you pray to, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Do not forget that. Special thanks to my executive producer, Carrie Seabrook Films. You're great. Do you have anything to say since you were very part of today? Do you enjoyed it?
It's always fun talking about this kind of stuff.
As an executive producer, you don't really do this. This is like really the first time you really get involved, right? Normally you're back there just telling people what to do.
Well, and I've been, doing this for some time, and I have somebody come up and they're like, oh, we can't use that shot because I didn't look right. And it's like, you know what? I'm satisfied with it. That's what counts.
You run the show. And listen, this is my show. I run everything. But what did I say? You're in charge. Did I not say that?
Yes.
Yeah. I give up I make decisions with you, but you're in charge, and you make the calls on what goes on in the show, and that's fact. Don't edit that out. I want them to know that. Carrie works. I'm very tough to work for sometimes. Sometimes, right? It's better now. We got a good thing going. But I let her make the calls. That's her job. She knows what she's doing. That's not my job. She doesn't tell, and she tells me what to do for the show, what needs to be done. But she also doesn't tell me what content to produce. So everybody needs to know your role. The old saying in the military is "stay in your swim lane." Right? Have you heard that before? Stay in your swim lane.
No, I haven't.
Like Michael Phelps in the Olympics.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean, and I agree.
Stay in your lane. Yeah, everybody's got a lane. And if Michael Phelps, great, I would love to have him on the show. What he's doing, but he, he's a hero to America. And if he left the lane, he would never have all the gold medals he had. So, gentlemen and women out there, whatever it is you're going to do, be good at what you're going to do. Do the best you can. Be the best you can in whatever it is you're going to do, and do not try to take somebody else's position over at the same time, because it only leads to conflict. Special thanks to Carrie. Thank you. You're the best. Special thanks to Crystal out there, who I hope that she's going to get me some obnoxious Instagram model photos that you're going to have to take the face out and any identifying stuff, Carrie, before we put it up. And maybe she'll have more of her. And I'm actually very interested to learn more because she got past the gatekeeper. So you brought her in for a reason. And as I'm looking here, she actually is bigger than just an Instagram model. So I'm actually interested to have her come on. Special thanks to Bianca Sea, SEA, for always. She's not here. She will be back on the show. I'm literally now knowing before the launch of the new show, I know that she definitely must be back on this one before the launch of the new show. So you will have her, but special thanks to her because she's going to always lend her angelic closing at the end of every show. And I say every show, 365, 360, 180 degrees forward, 180 behind you, your head's on a swivel. Because you know what? Regardless of what we're talking about on the show, danger doesn't sleep. You need to pay attention. You need to have situation awareness around you at all times to keep yourself and your family safe. So, closing out the historical quote of the day, Carrie. Actually, you have it in front of you. You read the historical quote of the day, Carrie, since I see who it's from.
I see that. I thought that was awesome.
I put it for you. I meant to tell you before to do
it. The beauty of a woman is not in a facial mode, but the true beauty in a woman is reflected in her soul.
Now do what I do. Read it again. Read it again. Read it again.
Okay. The beauty of a woman is not in a facial mode, but the true beauty in a woman is reflected in her soul.
And the
by
next part's all
one
you.
of my favorites, Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn. And what does it say underneath that there? You can have that part.
A reminder that in the end, it's not about what's on the outside, but what's within.
Bingo, folks. And Carrie said it well. I literally put that in there for you. Do you like doing the closeout one? I might have you start doing it. And
it's fun.
Yeah, right. And and it's joke time. Are you ready for the joke, Carrie? I'm excited about this one. Come on, Carrie. Oh, Carrie's having a tech issue there. Hold on. Stand by, folks. Stand by to stand by. Don't worry, she'll let that out.
I'm sorry. What was that?
You'll edit that out. I was just waiting for you. I knew what you were doing. Funny joke of the day, Carrie. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Why did the Instagram model go to the doctor? It's great. I love it. This one is really good. I put thought into this one.
Oh my God. I'm sure it was to get something fixed.
Close. Because she couldn't find the filter in real life.
Oh.
I love it. I love it. Folks, again, thank you very much. Thank you to my executive producer. She is the finest, and she is working so hard. And we have such much projects coming on. And she's going to be executive producing our new show. What's the name again, Carrie?
Unplugged with Eric A. Cinotti.
And you know what I think we might do for tomorrow's show? I think we might show the opening intro as a sneak peek, like a trailer. You think we can have a trailer up and running and for tomorrow to run its commercials? Moving into the show opening?
I don't know. I have to check and see.
Yeah, I mean, like a trailer, and I could say something, whatever. I think that'll be great. It'll warm up the show. Folks, you're going to love the new show. If you love the commentary with the news and the law, the politics and stuff, that's your show. And if you love, because Bianca Sea will be back here, if you love the entertainment stuff and the singing and some news, but conversations about like this Instagram stuff, you're going to stick with the Hostile Zone. So you can have it either way. And both shows are going to be on iHeart and all the stations, same as they are. It's going to be the same thing. So with that, folks, thank you very much. America, you're the best. We love you. You are why I'm here, and we thank you. Miss Bianca, take us out with honor, pride, and glory. Good night, America. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, say.